Too late.
Jeremy sounds like he don't wanna.
I don't wanna.
I don't wanna.
Hmm.
Oh crap.
Mongo just pawn in Game of Life.
Excuse me.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's because I'm doing my taxes.
Well, you're not weeping yet, so it must not be
I get
the same
$91
experience
back.
I had.
You get $91 back.
$91.
Mm.
Let's open the links.
I don't know. When do they do taxes? They're down there. You got to be in by mid-April?
Yep.
End of April? Yep.
Yet
Same.
another thing Canada copied from us.
Taxes? Yeah, well, you can take them back, damn it.
Oh, I didn't set the site to online.
No, you did not.
Oh.
You have failed us once again, Ken.
At least I'm consistent.
Oh, there's that. The secret, the Greek, is not to have any money. That way they can't take it.
They still take it if you have no money. Can you confirm?
Just claim to have paid back some student loans.
Mm-hmm. Did the site change to live?
Yep. It usually takes a minute. I had to refresh it a couple times.
Yep, there I am.
Oh no, turn it off.
Exactly.
All right, let's see here. Oops. Orange background, dark. Dark.
Gosh, you're getting
kinda-
an LCD tan
What?
again.
Ooh, what?
You're getting an LCD tan again.
Yeah. Someday I should probably like splurge for lights.
Nah.
As long as you don't splurge on a spray-on tan, because
Yeah.
that just wouldn't work.
Or tanning lotion.
Yes.
It's not tanning lotion.
Okay.
But it is flavored.
No, maybe.
Maybe.
Or her pleasure.
Definitely not.
Wait, what happened to podcast show notes?
What do you
In
mean?
the same damn place as always.
Yeah.
Same as it ever was.
Same as it was. That's weird.
Same as it ever was.
It just somehow changed from back, up top to bottom. Know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do mass modified. 493. 7
Go
left.
to Google Drive.
Yeah, it changes itself on me.
Google Docs is.
Why do
just
I look so
confusing.
angry?
Because he is.
Been a crappy week.
Father of teenagers. What do you expect?
You
Damn
won't,
it.
you won't
Yeah.
like him when he's angry.
No.
You just start wheezing. It's weird.
No, that's when he's laughing.
I mean, can it be both? It's also, I think it was some Twitter comment who was talking about how Josh's wheezing is good because it plays better on the audio podcast than just like laughing at the top of his lungs into a microphone.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's true.
The Greek 66 wants to know where's Jim.
Where is Jim?
I don't know. I haven't seen him since last week's podcast.
Yep.
I think
He asked me.
he might be done for.
He sent me a message earlier today. At least I think it was today. Asking if I would do the mailbag. Since our fearless leader is MIA.
Maybe he should start traveling with a webcam.
I had a good pick and I totally forgot what the heck it was. Mm-hmm.
Can't tell if nothing happened this week or just no one wrote about anything this week.
Sort of both.
I mean, there
Low
was
column A, low column B.
there was some stuff. I have
Well,
some-
John Sun talked for hours and hours and hours, but didn't really
He
release
did
anything.
talk for 3 hours.
I saw someone posted a 15-minute cut of that. I had all of the info you needed.
Yeah.
I can believe
So
that.
probably.
I could only get it down to 15 minutes, huh? Not like those The Verge, like 2-minute ones you see.
Those are never that short.
Oh, they're not that short.
Yeah. I always want them to be because watch 15 minutes of some phone announcement. That was a nice 3-hour chunk in the middle of the workday that I could get virtually nothing done.
Well, there's part of the reason
I
that
didn't pay
you know.
attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
Go away, news. You're depressing.
Hey, Alan.
Hmm.
Can you move that mic arm and chair out of the frame next to you?
Oh, the other one. Okay.
In the
Give
corner
me a
of the
second.
frame.
Yes, my kids do the dishes. We make them do that now and then. Why are there some in my wife's desk behind me? She does a really good job of cleaning up her desk, just like the rest of my office that I don't clean.
That was more entertaining than I thought it would be.
What? Moving the chair?
Yeah.
Actually, wait. Why does it still look like the chair is there?
It isn't. It's your laptop.
Oh.
There is no chair.
There's only Zool.
Yeah.
All right. You got all the links open and stuff?
Everything except for the pics.
Shaving cream.
You pick shaving cream?
Reverse Bucky.
I gotta figure out what the hell I want to
Wait a
pick.
minute. How did...
I mean, other than my nose, but nobody else can pick that.
Well,
Oh, they gotta make a trip, you know.
I see. Google Drive. Just go to it, laptop.
Do it.
Go,
Cortana,
laptop,
go.
Why did you sign me out of everything? Two-step verification? Fucker.
Mother.
Like, seriously, like, why? Why did you do that?
I don't know why did you do that.
Why did you do
Why
that?
do you do that?
Why you do that?
Why? Why, Google? Why? Think I'm hacking my own interwebs? Don't ask again on this computer, just like I told you last time. Yet you still asked me again.
And yet,
Sorry, I wasn't listening. What was that?
Yeah. All right. Are we already ready already?
Yep.
Ollie oxen free.
Okie doke.
okie dokie. I feel washed out.
You look at...
And, you know, empty inside, but that's not your fault.
That's been that way for forever.
It has been.
Ken was figuring that out.
I'm always figuring everything out. Do you have your show notes open on that
Tap
laptop?
dancing
Just
going back
making
there?
sure it's...
Yes, I was tap dancing.
I have the show
Okay.
notes open on both laptops.
Okay. I was just making sure it was capturing the right screen, like it hadn't frozen yet.
Oh, did it move?
Hey, there we go.
You know, we gotta make sure that the thing actually moves.
You don't really have to have that page open,
It's the podcast page.
but we never show that.
Well, fine.
493 of these out. 492 of these, Alan.
Well, I haven't hosted
Plus,
492 of them.
plus the lost episode that we tell nobody about. Makes it 493.
Nobody.
But you just told people about it.
Ah, shit.
Okay.
That's it. Get out the mineral oil, drown them.
Yep. Well, then who's gonna VJ?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
What?
Oh, okay.
VJ.
VJ, not
VJ.
Good lord.
I wonder whatever happened to Erica M.
Wait, what?
Canadian Much Music.
Oh.
Oh,
I had where did the I had the IRC open. Come on, the IRC.
It's
Hey.
logged you out. You're going to need to do the two-step verification.
Yeah, I had two-step verification to get in the IRC.
I think he just called that Slack. IRC with two-step verification.
Yeah, basically. All right. Ready to kick this pig?
Absolutely.
sure.
3, 2. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. This is episode number... Oh, dang. Ken made me switch off of the show notes page. 493. Being recorded March 28th, 2018. I'm Alan Malventano.
I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath.
And we're missing our fearless leader again.
Still.
I'm not actually even sure where he is this time. But But he's off doing
Maybe.
some stuff.
Yeah.
Told you
Gee,
should have
he-
put that GPS tracker on him.
Yeah. I just.
He's off looking at $400,000 servers and stuff.
Oh, okay. That makes
That are
sense.
gold and sparkly.
Golden sparkly. Is he gonna like stick one under his coat?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing the PC Perspective podcast again. Another week, another podcast. PCPro.com/podcast is where you can find us, or just PCPro.com. And you can find the boss who cannot be found at Twitter.com/Ryan Shrout. Or we got a Twitter for the main site, Twitter.com/PCPro. You can subscribe to our mailing list to know when we're going to do events like these. Ken was excellent, and I saw that he sent out the email.
I remembered.
You remembered? For some reason, when Ryan is here, somehow we always seem to forget. But, you know.
Ryan's the one that usually sends them.
Oh, well then
That would be why.
Maybe that explains why. Okay. It's PCPro.com/subscribe. Give us a name and an email address, and you'll be on our little blast that goes out before we do either this podcast or other live streaming events that we haven't had one in a while. Like,
Not a whole lot's been happening these days.
that's true. That's true. But you know, I'm sure they'll happen again in the future at some point. Patreon.com/PCPer is where you can come and see our Patreon page and hopefully kick in a little bit of coin to us and help us like keep the lights on and pay the bills.
I'm offended.
What?
Well, look, you guys have cut me out of the entire damn thing.
What do you mean? You're in the. I'm looking right at you.
Hey, at least you're in there.
We were hoping you'd take the hint, Josh.
Oh.
I know.
We'll bring over the frame every week until you're out of it.
I mean, you're on my screen over
Yes.
here, so that's okay. It just. Yeah. Sorry. We're just.
Oh, Ken.
We're just kind of trying to scoot you out of the frame slowly, and eventually you'll be in the basement
With my stapler.
with your stapler. Let's see. What else did we have that has gone on? PC Per mailbag number 36. Which, wait a minute. Oh, Jim posted it. I thought that meant that Jim also did a mailbag in addition to hosting the podcast last week. That would have been pretty nuts. But instead, we get to see old Baldy there.
Oh, Baldy. You know what the best part about that?
Just the top. Here we
Thanks,
go.
appreciate it.
There, sorry. Yeah, so Josh did
Yeah,
mailbag.
that was 4 hours after I recorded that was when the drunk broke into the house.
Excuse me?
You didn't hear that?
No. No, I
So
didn't.
yeah, I recorded it on Wednesday night after the podcast. I was feeling pretty good, and went upstairs, went to bed, and at 2:00 in the morning, my wife shaking me and yelling, "There's someone in the house!" And I'm like, "Oh shit!"
We have
There's no-
teenagers, duh.
And my dog's going crazy, so I was like, "Yeah, maybe, but who knows?" We had a raccoon break in, some years back, but so I go run downstairs and I turn on the lights and there's a guy sitting in my kitchen, and I was like, "Well,
What?
there is somebody in the house." And he just sat there and he looked at me really blankly. I was like, "How are you?" He's like, "Is this 5th Street?" It's like, "Nope, it's not." So apparently this guy goes to the bars, gets really drunk, and then he gets into other people's houses. He gets lost and just chooses one and tries to get inside, and he did.
So I guess your door was unlocked?
The back door was not locked, apparently, but
Wow.
now it was a crappy door anyway, and so I mean, you could have just
Opened
pushed
it
through
anyway.
it anyhow, and who knows? But we have a new back door and new locks.
So after he realized
Like,
that it was in fact not 5th Street,
It was I mean, he was just so drunk, and he wasn't violent.
so
and
what'd you do?
so,
You have
you
to
know,
like
I just-
pour
I
him
just
out,
talked
pour him
with
down the
him.
front porch, or what? Like what
What's
happened? Did you have to pour him down the front porch, or did you like give him some coffee,
He
or
stood
what?
up. He had like gotten into our garbage and threw garbage everywhere around our kitchen, and he took his shoes off. I only could find one shoe. My wife was right behind me when I turned on the light, and as soon as she saw him, she ran back upstairs, and got the kids, got him into a room, called the police. And so by the time I got to the guy to the front door, I saw the lights outside, and I just opened the door and they came in. And the guy, that one cop, looked at me, was like, "Dude, this is the third time this month you've done this."
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
You know, Wyoming,
Well,
a
at
state
least
where
the
I'm sure
cops
no
know
one's
where he
armed.
lives.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing that he has not been shot.
Yeah.
So
They walk in, it's like, Jake, you can't keep doing this, man. Come on,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, it's like what Mayberry, where the town drunk would just go into the jail by himself, let himself out when he sobered up. But yeah, that was real exciting. It was an
yeah.
interesting time.
Yeah. Well,
And there I'm just in my boxers, talking to this guy. He smelled horrible. He was just passing gas the entire. I don't know. He probably soiled himself. I swore that he went to the bathroom somewhere in the kitchen, but we never found anything. It was just he was so drunk. It was amazing. And
Right.
he just looked at me. He's like, "Don't send me to jail." It's like, it's not my call, buddy.
yeah. Wow.
So yeah, fun and exciting times.
Okay, so everybody go to that Patreon because Josh needs a new back door,
I do.
apparently. Okay, so yeah, you did a mailbag before before that happened. You did a mailbag. It looks like an interesting one based on the questions. So yeah, everybody check that out. Okay, I guess we'll get into the week in review. I don't know how to follow up a drunken Josh's kitchen with anything here, but
With a hot dog down the hallway?
yeah.
And the most common question that everybody is asked, well, not everybody, but quite a few, is, well, did you shoot him?
That seems to be a hot
No.
topic lately.
Yeah. So I'm not going to ruin some 22-year-old kid's life just because he's drunk. And
He was 22? Okay.
he looked 22, 23.
You're changing the image in my mind now because I was thinking, some old drunkard. Guy.
No, he's a young,
No, that was me.
well-dressed kid who just apparently has a problem.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope he gets better. Okay. So Ken did a thing,
A good thing or a bad thing?
right, Ken? Well, I mean, it looks like an okay thing.
Thanks.
Dell XPS 13 model 9370, which is 2018 model. I would hope you're reviewing a 2018 model laptop in the middle of 2018 almost.
Well, you never know. Like, laptop comes out at the beginning of or end of last year. Might get our hands on it.
Yeah. That's true. It still looks nice.
Yeah. So the XPS 13 is a laptop we talk a lot about. It's kind of been the benchmark for a really good modern Ultrabook since they introduced the modern redesign. And what was that, like 2015? I remember CES 2015.
Yeah, CES when it
we
was
like
on-
we got our hands on the prototype and we're like, oh man, like look at those bezels. This thing's awesome. And I pulled out my 11-inch MacBook Air and it was actually smaller than it and had a 13-inch display. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
yeah.
it's kind of spoiled ever since.
It was pretty sobering.
Yeah.
Pretty sobering moment there. And like Ryan immediately was like, where do I get one? And when can I order it? And,
Yeah.
So
this is kind of the first major redesign. They've done some subtle redesigns over the years with it, but this is sort of the first time they've rethought the entire chassis. If you scroll up a little bit, you can see, or down, the comparison photo to the late
so, yeah,
2017 XPS 13.
Okay,
And just
so-
how much thickness they shaved off this thing.
what's with like that plate on the back? Is that part of the,
Plate on the back?
well, look, it's hanging off the edge.
Oh,
there.
yeah, the back hinge kind of hangs a little bit. There's like a divot when you open it,
Oh,
where the
okay.
hinge kind of has clearance.
Huh.
Yeah, but so they've moved to all Type-C ports on this thing, which is obviously a controversial topic, but it really allows them to knock a lot of thinness off the laptop. They do put in a micro SD slot, which is nice, a good touch. And Apple doesn't put any sort of SD card slot. We have two Thunderbolt 3, one USB 3.1 Gen 1 ports. You can charge from all of them, which is nice. They include a Type-C charger, of course.
Does it come with any adapters?
It does. It comes with one dumb USB-C to
Type-C to
Type
A?
A adapter. And Dell's been doing this for a couple of laptops where they've done USB-C only or had USB-C ports. And I think it's the best move. They're the friendliest person in the industry when it comes to this. They've been including those adapters. I have a couple of them around now from
Yeah.
the Dell machines. And just like, give me the bare minimum if you're going to put only Type-C on this laptop. Let me plug in a thumb drive
Right.
when I need to.
Okay.
And one assumes this charges through USB 3
Yeah.
or USB-C.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, naturally. I would hope.
Okay, you're not going to fit a power plug on there.
Oh, darn it. It's the up-the-nose webcam.
Yeah, so they moved the webcam from the lower left-hand corner where it has been on the XPS 13 to the middle where we saw it on the XPS 13 2-in-1 last year, which was the Core M variant.
Yep, there it is.
And
up the nose.
So
And with the fingers.
the placement still sucks. I think it's completely unusable for any sort of web calling. However, it's now a Windows Hello camera, so it allows for the face-enabled login, and that works great. It works perfectly. I think it actually redeems putting a webcam on this machine. Whereas if they were just kept with a single stereo camera and moved it to the center, it's like, why even bother? Just omit it, save the $10 in bill of material costs, and pass it on to me at that point. It's just like, I don't even want to try to use the webcam on the previous XPS 13.
Yeah.
Hardware-wise, we're talking 8th gen core processors. It's actually interesting because Dell released a version of the 9360, which was the 2017 version, like a mid-cycle upgrade when the 8th gen processors came out. So this isn't the first XPS 13 with the quad-core U-series parts.
Okay.
Which actually comes into a pretty interesting comparison if we sort of move on to performance. The next page.
Let me find the... Oh, wait. There's the guts.
It's a massive battery. What is it, 52 watt hours? That's really good for an Ultrabook. I don't think it's quite the largest we've seen, but it's like the second or third. Oh, and this is their laptop with the Gore thermal insulation that they like to talk about.
Were we able to find where that was?
I'm not quite sure where it is. I think it's actually on the lid. I didn't take a photo of that. It's like thin insulation on the lid, and they say that it
really is very thin, whatever it is. It's not
Which
like...
makes
Still trying to
sense.
find the RAM.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you want me to jump to here?
Here's good. So we compare the performance between... We've looked at a lot of these 8th gen laptops now, and now we have the Ryzen R5 2500U, which is sort of AMD's modern competing part. There's a lot of comparisons we can make. However, I think the most interesting one is, as I alluded to the previous XPS 13, the 9360, which we also had the i7 8550U in it. And a look at the difference in the multi-threaded score there.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's a pretty big bump. It's like 20%.
Now, this is absolutely the fastest 8th gen laptop we've looked at by a decent margin. So if you go down to the next tests, you can see in Handbrake, it's got a pretty good lead on both this pure CPU bound and even the quick sync accelerated encoding.
Yep. This is lower is better chart here.
It's time.
Yep.
Time to completion.
PC Mark.
PC Mark, it's not the greatest. Which, if you scroll down, we can talk about. Has pretty middling storage performance, which is why the PC Mark score isn't as high. It doesn't have sort of the best NVMe SSD we've ever seen, and this is the one that we saw that was doing the weird limiting stuff that maybe you can talk to a little bit.
Yeah, it's an XG5, which is like a... Well, I don't want to say OCZ. I mean, it's Toshiba proper makes it, but it's a OEM specific SSD. It's not meant to be a retail part. And it looks like in this case that, one of the things with the XG5 was that OEMs can coordinate with Toshiba and get them to dial things back if they wanted to. In other words, if they wanted the thermal envelope of the drive to be, make it produce less heat or consume less power for whatever reason, they could do that. And most of the power on an SSD is consumed during writes. Obviously, something's going on here because I'm pretty sure this drive can do better than 500 meg per second writes natively.
Yeah,
so
I know you've tested the Bear drives in the past.
Yeah, and they've done better than that. I'm pretty sure.
While I think some sort of throttling is fine, I think this is going a little too far.
Well, this isn't so much throttling. Like, it's not like it.
Well, sure.
It's not like it immediately pulls back because it got too hot. It's just
throttling is the wrong word.
It's just going slower so that it never gets hot.
Yeah,
enough,
like a hardware limit, like a software limiter.
Yeah.
I think 500 is a bit low for that. I think you could come up with a decent amount of use cases where you could do more than 500 megs per second write. Maybe you can't do more than a gig a second write, and you keep it further up towards that. But I think 500 is pretty conservative on that. Like if you plug in a pretty fast USB 3 SSD, you can
hit 500. Yeah.
Which I guess the argument is how long you're going to be doing that on 256 gig or 512 gig SSD.
Also a good argument.
Really matter, but for Dell's flagship consumer laptop, it's disappointing to see this sort of performance in it. I think, kind of is a mar against the rest of the crowd.
Okay, battery life.
Battery life was pretty great as always.
Well, yeah, it's had a huge battery on that
just
thing.
about 8.25 hours on the 52 watt hour battery. The 9360, the last gen one, got a little bit better, but I think that's just kind of maybe a little run-to-run variance between the two. Not entirely sure on that, but 8 hours is pretty great at this point for an Ultrabook. We don't see many above it.
Okay.
Pricing's about what you expected. They sent us a $1,900 configuration, but that was the completely maxed out 4K version with 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gig SSD. Where I would aim is the 1080p screen, so you actually get a little bit of battery life gain over the 4K.
Yep.
The i5 H250U, which you won't see that much performance hit. I think 8 gigs of RAM is good for most people on laptops. There are a lot of people that argue that against me. They say you need 16.
I think 8's okay, unless you're really like, if you need the 16, you probably know the reason why you need the 16, right?
And just because you open up Task Manager in Windows when you have 16 gigs of RAM and it's using a lot of RAM doesn't mean that you need 16 gigs of RAM, right? Like Windows now will really use almost as much as
it'll use whatever you give it,
with all those weird background processes. And a 256 SSD is $1,200.
Okay,
new,
that's
which
a
is pretty
decent
good.
price. Yeah.
I mean, Dell laptops you can usually catch some sales on from some third-party people, and the Dell outlet is pretty awesome. I don't know if I've quite seen these on there yet, but I imagine in a couple months it'll be on there. It's a really good laptop.
Sweet.
It's my bar for this thin and light category. I can't find anything better.
Okay. High praise from the man who enjoys a small laptop.
Would recommend.
Yep. Next up, Noctua CPU cooler, NH-L9A AM4. Oh, gee, I wonder what kind of CPU this is for. Maury reviewed it. I assume it's an AM4 CPU cooler.
You correct, sir.
Looks like it. $40. It's definitely one of the slim ones that's meant to be like super low profile, like get the thing as low as you can.
To the point where it uses a rear entrance.
So
you see the mounting clips there.
I do.
Notice how they're completely covered by the heatsink.
They are. So how the heck does that get mounted?
You come up through the back of the board.
Huh.
Yeah. I think we've actually used a couple of years ago the AM3 version of this.
Yeah.
They make an Intel version too, but I think it was specifically the AM3 version we used.
All right, so they got heat pipes. It's basically everything's sitting flat. It's like pancaked on there.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a gap between it and the motherboard. And then where's like the actual, wow, that is compact.
Yeah, so you got to have the board completely out.
Yeah.
Line it up, which I can imagine is a very easy process to keep it completely lined and not twisted while you're screwing it in from the back of the board.
From what I remember, it was actually surprisingly good. I will have to see what Maury's experiences were in this review, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, you figure you're putting this on a mini ITX board before you put it in your really small case.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's absolutely no way you're going to do it after.
Yeah. It's pretty much everything.
I like how it doesn't impinge on the GPU at all.
It doesn't impinge on anything.
I think the shield over the I/O is taller than the damn thing.
Yeah. Wow. That's definitely a compact cooler. All right. So did he do like comparisons against? Yep. There's the bottom plate.
I mean, it's kind of like it's almost a simpler install than most modern heatsinks if you think about it, because you're just screwing 4 screws. You're not screwing in adapter screws, so you can have another screw cap that goes over.
Yeah, the 4 screws is usually you attaching the bracket.
Yeah, in which you attach studs to, and then more screws.
Right. In this case, you attach the bracket, you're done, because it was on the other side. Hopefully with thermal paste. All right, so how did it compare with other coolers? Now, there's not a lot of surface area on this guy, so I would imagine, yes, load temperatures were the highest among the other coolers he compared to. Okay, so I mean, that's the price you pay for having a super, super slim and tiny cooler.
I'd actually like to see
purchasing this for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to see this compared to like the modern AMD stock coolers that are really good at this point, like the Wraith Max and stuff like that. I imagine the Wraith is probably a bit of a better performer than this. It's obviously got more Z height, but
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it was reasonably quiet. Which also naturally, like the quieter the cooler will be, it generally will not be able to cool as well as louder coolers, usually. I mean, it doesn't look bad. Like, overall, yeah, CPU runs a little bit warmer, but if you're trying to build the super tiny form factor machine, you're not necessarily going to be trying to get, crazy desktop level performance out of it at the same time. Or if you are, then you're willing to deal with the CPU just running a little bit hotter.
I think if you need this cooler already.
Yeah, you're doing some special build where you have, centimeters to work with as far as height. Although one of the pictures where he had it was like the DRAM was taller.
Yeah, that was pretty high profile,
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Looks like he was generally impressed. And yeah, I mean, it's only $40. Not bad.
Probably the cheapest heatsink Noctua makes.
Yeah, actually. It's because you're getting a much smaller fan and you don't have to
Scales nicely.
Yeah, they pay, you have to actually, like, their 140 millimeter fans from them are like $20.
Yeah.
And this whole cooler is like 40. All right, now we roll into the news. Might as well go for the big one right off the bat. Literally. NVIDIA announces DGX2 with 16 GV100s and 800 gigabit NICs.
That's it?
Yeah, that's all. That's all they managed to get in there.
It only weighs 350 pounds.
And takes 10 kilowatts.
So there's a GPU, and then they take some more GPUs, and then you connect them all together with NVLink, and now they're all, sort of like one big GPU.
This is a DGX1.
Yep. And then I assume more is going to happen here, hopefully. Come on, video. All right. So they made this NV switch thing, which this is new for this, right? Like this, this switch the means of attachment. So they're just.
So what do we know about this NV switch stuff, Josh? I kind of zoned out on that part of the presentation.
Isn't it NVLink 2? But it's a switching.
Yeah, it's
type
acting
networking.
I mean, it's acting
so
like it's acting like the backbone of a network switch. Like if you have a network switch, the internal bandwidth of the switch is way higher than any of the individual ports. So, you're trying to do something similar.
Yeah.
Just with GPUs instead of network, network ports. Do we have a good picture of the? I thought there was a picture floating around. I guess we didn't have it in this post.
Yeah, I think that was just a photo that Ryan sent to the group.
Oh. Well, we'll have some more better pictures of a mock-up, or I don't know if that was final hardware.
It was probably pretty final.
It's probably operating, but so
this thing is insane.
Let me ask this: did they actually integrate the power supplies into that, or is there some really interesting way of hooking it up to an external?
I don't actually know.
Let's see here.
Because 10 kilowatts is not.
It doesn't really look like it has any sort of power.
Must have an external connection that it has to get plugged into.
Yeah, 10 kilowatts on a single device. There might be a custom power supply. Well, a couple of custom power supplies for that.
Huh.
Because that's an awful lot for, if you want to have failover in power, like servers typically have dual power supplies in them, right? Well, no one power supply is going to be able to handle that if the other one fails. So you're going to need something special.
That's an interesting question to ask them.
Yeah. Probably could just be like a brick of 10 or 16 or something server PSUs, because a lot of what's going to drive that is 12 volts.
Yeah.
So it probably would work very much like server because server PSUs are just 12 volt out.
Yeah.
And then if within the system, there's a converter that gives you the other, the 3.3 and the 5.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Jensen kept referring to this as the world's biggest GPU, which is
he's trying to call it one GPU, right?
He even called it an add-in card at some point. I don't know I think he might have slipped up when he said that, but he called it an add-in card.
That is not.
That's not the case. Card. It's got 2 Xeons in it. It's not a GPU. It's a computer. It's a server.
Yeah. Was it a different post we had where we had prices and stuff like that, or was this just
$400,000?
Well, it was the one. Yeah, they originally said $1.5 million, but we're not gonna do that. $399.
We could charge you $1.5 million, and you'd still buy it.
Yeah,
It's definitely a cool technological marvel almost.
I gotta wonder how loud that is.
There's no telling.
Yeah,
we're dissipating some serious heat.
Yeah, although if it's large enough and it has a big enough surface area there, it might be reasonable. All right. Well,
maybe.
Francois in the chat is saying that there's a cabinet provided with it that has PDU.
Oh,
like it has its own cabinet.
It's like a rack.
Yeah,
or like a drawer.
Makes sense.
They did show like an image of a data center where they went from a bunch of racks to one rack with sort of this racked in the middle, and that must be like the actual rack they're shipping with it with power delivery and stuff.
Sweet. Well, we'll probably have some more detail and some more pictures on that for next week's podcast, I would imagine. Because Ryan will be back.
Hopefully,
you
Ryan say that, but
yeah, I mean, we're not sure yet. Also, GTC, NVIDIA announces Volta-powered Quadro GV100. So this one's not $400,000.
It's getting pretty damn close. $9,000.
$9,000 for one card.
Yeah.
So so that's $18,000 right there. Just
yeah. During the keynote, Jensen pitched this as a dual card solution, which is interesting, and kind of implied that you could only get it like in a sort of dual card form factor from system integrators. But they're selling them on their website in single card variations now, so that must just been kind of their push.
But you can only buy 5.
Oh, only 5.
Yeah,
only 5 for $9,000.
Yeah. They had an interesting push in the keynote around using this with NVIDIA RTX, which is a real-time ray tracing stuff they talked about at GDC, but this time for professional applications.
Yeah. And
I did a little digging into this, and there are actually a couple of applications like V-Ray, which is a very popular plugin renderer for like Revit and Rhino and CAD applications like that. They have their version called V-Ray Next for 3D Studio Max that's already starting to support some of this technology. So now you actually have Quadro level hardware to support it. And this should be the first time we see sort of the certified Quadro code paths and optimizations they do for professional applications with Volta. It'd be interesting, and be interesting to see if they backport those back to Titan V like they did with Quadro GP100 and the Titan XP, which would be a nice benefit to consumers, but with price difference, it kind of seems like maybe they'd hold off a little bit on that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
what's nice about them is they use the NVLink 2.
Oh yeah.
Over the top type bridge. I think it's like 2 channels of that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's super high, low latency and high bandwidth.
Yeah, when we took apart the Titan V, we actually saw the NVLink edge connectors, but it's not surfaced like the shroud covers. Shroud and backplate cover the edge connectors, and there's obviously no software support. So, like Josh said, this will be the first time you see NVLink support, at least for Volta, in sort of a workstation form factor with video outputs instead of a Tesla. Which is an interesting point. I'm not really sure how much it matters ultimately.
Boy, they dominate the workstation graphics card market.
Yep.
And here, You can have both of these for only $18,000.
We'll give you the privilege of buying these for only $18,000.
But they're gold.
Hide it
Yeah.
in petty cash. Your boss
NVIDIA-
will never notice.
NVIDIA likes
Yep.
gold these days.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like a washed out wrapper.
Okay. Next up, Corsair is this just IQ?
Yes.
Okay.
Get
And
it?
it's not a Spike Lee joint. It's a Corsair interface.
Okay. So it's just for their
Did we
all their
skip the
RGBs.
Vive?
I
Pro?
must have forgot to take that out of the rundown. There's no
Oh,
Pro
I
Store
can't
this week.
think that
remember
was last
anything
week.
from last week.
It's rough.
I see.
Still $800 for that set only.
Oh, yeah.
Never
Recapping.
mind.
Still a ripoff.
Yeah. Still too rich for my blood. Okay. Corsair announced early access to their IQ RGB control software. So that's their. I forget what the old name of their keyboard software was.
Q.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The best I can tell, this is sort of integrating both Q and Corsair Link. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, okay.
You got it.
Okay.
You got it in one.
Yeah.
So you look at the top picture, and yeah, you can see the keyboard and all the fancy lights and stuff. You scroll down, and here's your what used to be the Link. So
Okay.
you get your CPU. You can control your pump speeds, monitor temperatures. Of course, add the RGBs to that as well. And they've sort of tied this in with Far Cry 5. So as long as you've got a serious RGB addiction and you've blown at least $150 on Corsair RGB stuff, you get Far Cry 5 for free, and you get 30-some profiles, which will match your Far Cry 5 experience. Restart now.
No.
So as you're playing the game, your lighting is supposed to change depending on what area you're in. If that's, the sort of thing that you're into.
Okay.
I mean, it's an interesting
The
idea.
video of it was pretty cool that I saw. Like
Yeah.
the video of the screenshot it's neat. I would never really want to play that way with like all that bias lighting essentially, but really into RGB. That might be fun. The
As long
idea
as
of
there's like a single
unifying-
switch to kill all RGB at once,
Never.
in one fell swoop, I might take that.
Never.
Go through all the trouble installing that software just to be able to click one button. Just like turn it all off. Now.
It's really good they're unifying these two softwares because, well, to put it bluntly, they've both been two mediocre pieces of software. So at least
So now
you
it'll
only
just
have
be
to install one mediocre
horrible
piece of software, that maybe can get better. They both come a long way and have gained some functionality, but like Corsair Link, it feels like it hasn't been touched in years and it's actually very difficult to find on their website last time I looked.
Oh, really?
Like you had to really dig to find it, so maybe this will help.
Okay. I know Ken's going to be happy about this. Pi Foundation releases refreshed $35 Raspberry Pi 3 Model B+. What's the B+ mean?
More better.
200 megahertz.
Better plus? It's better. It's better. Okay, so let's see here. Gigabit, dual band
Sort
AC.
of gigabit.
Oh,
Well,
sort of gigabit?
We'll get to that.
Oh,
The
okay.
label says.
So they have a gigabit NIC, but the interface to the NIC is USB 2. So where it was previously a 10100 or a 100.
Now it's a 300.
Yeah. So
Really?
So you like they
Maybe a 400.
There's no 300 megabit standard, so they had to put a gigabit NIC on there so it would negotiate at higher speeds, but it's
Okay.
still limited to the bus speed. Which
Okay, but at least it's faster than 100 megabit.
yeah.
All right, so we'll give it that.
Either 2.11 AC.
We'll give it a B+
I
for
believe.
effort.
Wah, wah.
A fan.
That's the additional PoE sort of hat add-on they have now, which is probably good for more remote installations. I think you could do that before with some accessories, but now there's sort of an official path to doing it.
Okay, so it's looking like slight boost to the speed, slight boost to the network speed.
It now does dynamic clocking based on heat where it didn't before, so it can kind of edge up a little bit below 70C. It goes to 1.4, and then Once it gets above that, it goes to 1.2 gigahertz.
Hmm.
They're getting a little more intelligent. They have a real sort of heat spreader on the SoC now. Whereas it used to just be the package before.
Okay.
They aren't charging anymore. You can get them now. Fun stuff. If you need a Pi,
that's the part I like
buy
about
this
it.
one.
Yeah.
It's an iterative upgrade, but they cost the exact same amount. So hey, good on them.
They're very good at doing that.
Yes.
Okay, last up, during the Open Compute Summit, Seagate showed off helium-filled Exos X hard drive.
That's a good brand name.
I guess. So this is the Exos X14, which
It's
is
got like a fighter jet on it. Oh, sorry. I should probably actually cut to it.
yeah, it's right there. 14,
That's a lawn dart. What are you talking about?
14 terabytes, 7,200 RPM drive, and it's PMR. In other words, just parallel magnetic recording, meaning it has regular sectors, not the shingled stuff, not the, not shooting laser beam, freaking lasers at it. Like, it's just doing your traditional kind of, hard drive storage, but in a 14 terabyte drive. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's definitely pretty good. Do we have a price? No.
It's enterprise tech. You don't get prices.
Well, I mean, it'll probably be roughly proportional in the cost per gig compared to the
Yeah.
smaller models, but it is a 72. Seagate really likes sticking with the 7,200 RPM speeds.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
14
terabytes, man.
If you look at the bottom of the article, Tim also links to some stuff that they showed off at OCP. Like they were showing
the Mach 2.
Hammer and drives and their multi-actuator stuff.
Well, we'd seen Hammer working, but this Mach 2 thing.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So there's basically wow, that's shifted on me.
Lasers
No, that's
on the head.
That's Hammer.
Well, no, that's what
Hammer.
it just looks like. Come on.
It was actually the actuator scraping on the plate.
But
no.
So something people don't usually realize about hard drives is that if you have something like crazy like an 8-disk hard drive, it's not going to go 8 times the sequential speed of a single disk hard drive. And that's because even though you have 8 heads and they're all reading, they're all moving over the surfaces or 16 heads over 8 platters or whatever, it's only ever talking to one of them at a time. And that's for a very specific reason, and that's for tracking. The tracking is so particular on drives, especially now, the density is so high. You can't read from all the heads at the same time because most of them are not actually aligned on the track properly. Too many other things are changing, right? The disk, the next disk down could be a fraction of a degree warmer or colder, which changes makes the disk slightly a different density, and then it expands or contracts, and suddenly it's not aligned. So the only way really around that is to do something like this, where you have just 2 different head packs. So this way, the top pack would be tracking on whichever head was trying to read from any of those 4 platters, or is it 4? Yeah, any of those 4 platters in this case. And then the bottom pack could be doing that as well, with its own set of 4. Seems pretty cool. It does add some complexity. It does add some, how are you going to make this work with the system stuff, right? Now, I don't know how they actually... Oh, wow. There it goes.
It's awesome.
Sweet.
Hey, the see-through hard drives are coming back.
Yeah. Judging by the dust that I can see inside there, that drive ain't actually working.
So they were talking about the dual actuator stuff as being sort of like a RAID 0 in a drive, right?
Yeah, but it's the thing is, how do you present it to the host, right?
Yeah.
So you could make it a RAID 0 within the drive and just make it so that both actuators are always, like, you'd actually make it kind of boring. Both actuators would always look like they were generally in the same place, right? The difference is that you would get twice the throughput because you'd have, one set of actuators would be on whichever track it was on at the same time that the one that, the set below it would be on another
next track.
and you would just interleave the sectors, you'd keep bouncing between the top set and the bottom set. You could do that, or you could present it to the host as just two separate hard drives. There's nothing stopping you from doing that.
Yeah.
And then you can leave it up to the host if you wanted to set up some kind of RAID. But then then it starts getting complicated because serial ATA, does a drive act like a port multiplier to get multiple SATA devices on one cable, which is a thing and can work, but then whatever you plug it into has to be compatible with that and has to work with that. So honestly, the easiest way to go with something like this would be the boring way. And that would be, just keep both head packs doing roughly the same thing and just do a RAID 0 stripe just within the drive. There's your heat-assisted magnetic recording shooting frickin' lasers at the disk.
Yeah.
Yep. They actually had a demo of this working last CES.
They made some claim about customer reliability specifications and how they were far and beyond 20 times the spec.
That is a concern.
Yeah.
With this because of actually wearing out the media. Because you're heating up parts of the disk to such a high temperature, even though it's a tiny spot. You can't just keep overwriting the same spot on the disk. But I mean, there's plenty of ways around that. You can do wear leveling, you could do things like that, but it does make it more complicated. If you're trying to make the simplest possible device and just at a low cost and whatnot. But there's that Exos X14.
Coming clear.
14 terabytes, man. No, it doesn't come in clear.
Who'd ever fill that up? Why do we
Facebook.
need such large hard drives?
Well, not just that, but this would be a more traditional hard drive, right? It's using
RAID 5.
It's using regular sectors, not shingled or anything crazy like that. So you could just pop this in your system and use it as a Steam game drive.
I was being sarcastic because throughout my history, I've said, well, I'm going to get this 320 meg hard drive. My friend's like, oh, yeah. What are you ever going to fill that up? Yeah.
You could fit maybe 5, 6, 7 Steam games on this on this 14 terabyte drive. Oh, yeah. And then they're just showing huge racks full of them now. Now they're just going crazy.
Huge racks full of discs.
Huge racks full of hard drives. All right. Well, cool. What else we got here? I guess that is it for the news, and it puts us into the picks of the week, which I need to stall while I open links.
Stalling.
Let me close some links so I'm not moving the mouse across the screen so much. All right. Yep.
Ochre mix. It's never been my favorite color, but
Of course, all you have multiple links, including myself.
No, I don't. I got one link.
Jeremy's being difficult, and so is Ken.
Jeremy's always difficult.
So is Ken, and so am I. We're all being difficult.
That sounds about right.
Okay, so my pick is so if you like old video games, and honestly, who doesn't? And you're actually trying to get stuff done around your house, not playing old video games, but you want to still listen to old video games. Don't listen to the native music of the video games. Listen to these guys that do these crazy remixes of all these old games, specifically ocremix.org.
They're still around.
They're still around, and they're still pumping out.
Nice.
They're not just pumping out individual tracks, but pumping out compilations. So there's the OC Remix collections.
That's what I'm going to put on that hard drive.
That's what. Yeah, there you go. So there's 15 gig OC Remix collection. Track 1 to 3000, and then now they have the Q3 2017 update. So they haven't done those in a while, or at least they haven't updated the compilation stuff in a while. But let's see. Let me sort by added date here. So there you go. February 4th, Secret of Mana, Resonance of a Pure Land. And then like, where was that?
Wait. Is that a jazz tribute to Chrono Trigger? Scroll down. Click on that.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, I just downloaded the torrent. Dang it.
Well, you're gonna need to send me that link after we're done here.
It's just ocremix.org/torrents, man. I like this. Did a mirror image, a link to the past remixed. These guys have done some amazing stuff in the past. They have a Final Fantasy VII Voices of the Live Stream is phenomenal.
Oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Dude. And so most of these are like, they'll usually be a compilation, like they'll kind of like, okay, we want to do all the tracks from this game or whatever, and a bunch of these guys that do these remixes will all come together, and they'll kind of like piecemeal it out to everybody, and everybody will have their own spin on it. So not only do you have the game soundtrack, but you have each of the different tracks of the game, which within a game usually all the different sounds have kind of like a similar sound to them. This diversifies it, right? Because you have everybody's kind of bringing their own style to the different, the different tracks of the game. Different, different levels, like soundtracks or whatnot. But there's just a crap load of torrents here. It's like Mega Man 9, like, Legend of Zelda, Link the Awakening, Threshold of a Dream. Like, there's just every one of these.
Country.
And not only that, and of course, I'm just on the torrents page, so if I click these, all it does is download the torrent file. It's not like it doesn't open something up for you, but each one of these as a download, they all have album art. They all have like not just MP3, but usually a FLAC or some form of lossless version is in there. Like it's everything you could want in a particular disc, particular audio disc.
Lossless
of anything.
8-bit chip tunes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but it's not the 8-bit thing. It's a remixed.
I know, but
yeah,
still just too funny.
I mean, a lot of these I haven't listened to the ones like beyond the middle of last year yet. I definitely want to listen to the Link to the Past remixed one. But yeah, I mean, it's just cool stuff, and they're all free. And there's no catch, there's no gotcha. It's just free, good retro game music. Just crap to listen to. All right, ocremix.org. Next up, Jeremy.
Well, I was going to talk about my reaction to Microsoft's new end user license agreement, but I would probably use words that would get us banned permanently. So
probably.
I decided to go with the weirdest looking freaking case I have seen in a long time. That they did a review over, Hilbert did a review over at Guru 3D. And I can't decide if I like it or not. So you've got sort of 4 separate chambers. And yes, that is mirror finished plastic on it.
Okay.
That's not going to scratch or gather dust at all.
Well, you're probably going to put this somewhere where it's in view and not on the floor. But if you jump to the interior storage, you can sort of see how it goes.
There's 16 pages to this review. Okay.
Yeah, no, the interior storage.
Interior storage compartment?
Yes.
Whoa.
There's all your drives.
Those 3.5-inch bays?
With an adapter so you can slip in an SSD.
Holy crap. There's 9 3.5-inch drive bays just in one quadrant of this case.
Yeah. And then you bounce to the next one. And
okay. Wait,
here is your PCIe riser and your GPU.
Hold on. I got
bay.
I had to go to the next. Okay, next bay. Needs its own page. Okay.
So you see the PCIe slot up there, eh?
Right.
And the other 2 empty ones beside it.
So you can have...
So you can fit 3 GPUs in this.
Well...
all sequestered in their own little area.
Okay. So there's
perfect for miners.
I guess. And then next, interior.
You get sort of an idea of what you've got to remove to get the. Actually, it's page 9. I think that you get the better look at the.
So how the
motherboard sort of goes in.
Yeah,
and the PSU gets its own little thing too.
But the motherboard's going to be a little bit more confusing because I assume this is not a micro ATX.
No. It slides sideways through the middle.
Oh.
Right? So it's mounted on an angle.
I see.
Wow.
So I'm looking at it, I'm going, this is really well engineered. It's really interesting, but it's kind of weird. It's going to take a lot of effort to get assembled, and it's like $600.
Yeah.
So it reminds me of that BMW one in a way, but makes more sense than a strange wall with a bunch of compartments bolted to it. So I don't know. I saw this and I'm like, damn, this is a unique case, and I honestly don't know if I like it or not, but I don't mind talking about it because it's.
But how to
it's
respect
unique.
it.
It's got a window.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
You got to show off your RGBs.
Of course. I mean,
So yeah, if you're really into that sort of high-end case and you've got the money to do it, this is going to make your system stand out.
it's really cool. It's very
Yeah.
pricey.
Quite unique.
Definitely unique. Not the kind of case you would have tucked under your desk because
No.
it's way too wide for that. Looks like. So you'd just be kicking the thing all the time. Definitely scratching the high gloss black plastic. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
And then you had that's the
Yeah,
it's
it's just
it's
the-
down to $500,
Oh, nice.
but it's out of stock.
No,
Oh, that's why.
app-controlled RGB lighting system.
It has RGBs. It looks like
It's got an app.
4 different color RGBs. You can have them, whatever colors you want. Okay, Josh.
Me?
You.
So we've been getting these for work, and they work pretty well. They're relatively inexpensive. They're on sale now for $66. 850 volt amp battery backup from APC. It's got all the bells and whistles that you would expect from a modern plug-in backup battery.
This one looks different than the usual UPS though. It just looks like a
Yeah.
really tall power strip.
Yeah, and so it actually kind of works a little bit nicer than the older ones that are the flat kind of brick ones that they stood this on the side. So
And you even get dual 2.4 amp USB charge ports.
I know. How exciting is that?
Very.
Yeah.
So 3 surge ports and
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 6 battery backup.
Yeah,
Oh, and they
those
even
just surge.
look at those. There's 3 of them that if you have wall warts,
Yeah.
they'll actually fit in the dang plugs.
Yeah, no doubt, eh?
Someone actually thought about the design.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense because you're going to have some for the PC and the monitor that are not going to be,
Yeah.
really wide, but then you get some more and they're actually got some room.
Yeah. So nice little product, not terribly expensive.
Yeah, I mean,
Works well.
$67 for some peace of mind.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Worth it.
Okie doke. What do we got next? Oh, Ken and his.
Let me
Yes.
just start this pick by saying PC Perspective is not liable for you or for any damage to you or your home and or apartment.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah,
want to get that out
because
there.
frickin' lasers.
Not.
Oh, so
not
you should get this
liable.
bundled with that ozone generator thing you had.
No, that was my pick.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll be bringing that over to Ken's house now.
I don't keep the stick at my house. I keep it at my buddy's house. Come on.
Well, I'll bring the ozone generator over to your
Yeah.
buddy's house. Yeah.
So, for the past couple of years on the internet, there has been, in sort of the laser cutter communities, has been this machine called quote unquote the K40, and it is a China special laser cutter. It was actually made as a hobbyist laser for the Chinese market, which just kind of brings up all these red flags. But people have imported them, and you can get them readily now on eBay for about $350. I used one of those 20% off eBay coupons that have happened recently, so I got mine a little less than that. Set this up a couple of weeks ago, and it's surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of one of your products that you have
Oh,
actually
He has
crap.
one of his products.
Hold on now, install.
I will talk install over a static picture of a web page while Ken runs across the office and
run, Ken,
and gets a
Run.
plank and gets a plank of wood.
Wood.
And hands me a plank of wood, which I can't show you fine people. Because
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Because he's got a switch.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Warning.
This wood smells
Like laser cutting.
like
Like
when I
burning.
have just sawed some wood and accidentally burned it. But yes, warning, laser in use.
Yeah.
There
I
you
don't think
go.
that looks level.
No, it's not. Aligning the mirrors, difficult part of this laser cutter.
Yeah, it's if you want it to look like, if I hold it like this, it'll look
Yeah.
like.
So they sell this as a 40-watt CO2 laser. All indications are that it's a little less than 40 watts, it's more like 30. But as it turns out, it's still enough to cut through, let's say, like 1/8-inch wood and acrylic. There are some mods you can do, adding like an air assist system that I'm going to do that can get you up to like, say, a 1/4 inch cutting through. That was engraved into 1/4 inch, just sort of plywood that I was doing there.
Yeah.
The first thing you do is upgrade all of the safety equipment, the ventilation, the water cooling pump,
Because it's all
a water
crap.
cooled CO2 laser tube, and it's just the air ventilation. I'm pretty sure would have killed us all. It took a $50 trip to Ace Hardware to get all of the equipment. And, like, we bought a bathroom vent and sort of jerry rigged that on for the time being. It's been a really fun project with me and my friends just kind of hanging out on a Sunday afternoon, drinking beer and laser cutting what could go wrong. It's fascinating. I've done the whole 3D printing thing, so now I'm getting the laser cutting thing. Next, wait for cheap CNC recommendations from me, I guess. So if you're at all interested in this, there's the reddit.com/r/laser cutting has a wiki specifically about the K40 in their sidebar that will give a pretty good indication of what to expect from one of these machines potentially. But
Oh yeah.
for the pretty low entry point, it's been a lot of fun, and I think I'm gonna have some cool usable stuff out of this pretty soon.
Any pictures on this wiki, or is it just a wall of text?
Oh, it's a wall of text, but the nice thing is they have like
All
this
the
showed up.
settings and everything.
Well, they have this showed up on my doorstep. What do I do now?
Oh.
Step by step sort of instructions.
I like how it's like, go to the hardware store.
Yeah, pretty much. If you scroll up, scroll down a little bit. Sorry.
Basic safety.
0 to hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of a fun hobbyist project.
And it is a big box.
Yes, it's a very big box.
Just yeah.
I had issues getting it from the office to my house.
We almost had to bust out the laser to cut a hole in Ken's car so it could fit in the back.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right. I guess that's that. So pcpro.com/podcast, pcpro.com/ or darn it, twitter.com/Ryan Trout. You should bug him right now and tell him next week he needs to be on the podcast. Yes.
Yes.
Tell him to come out of hiding and come back
Yeah,
home.
he's no Hugh Hefner yet.
Twitter.com/PCPer for the website. And yeah, we'll have more stuff next week. I got some stuff going on. Ken's got some stuff going on. I think there's.
Yeah, let's see. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me look at the calendar.
You have
real
anything
I think
you can-
April's going to be a busy month for some reason.
Anything you can say? is
There
going
will be a
on?
lot of news next week.
Yeah.
There will be some
yeah.
reviews and some news about some upcoming stuff. It'll be a good week.
And there will be some SSD stuff on either end of next week. So at least some of it will be on the next podcast. And then some more of it after the next podcast, but in the same week. Coming out. An SSD.
Assuming Ken finishes his review tonight.
Yeah. We got SSDs that we have our fingers crossed are going to beat 960s from Samsung. So we'll see. We'll see if that can happen. Fingers crossed. Okay, well, with that, I wish all of you a good week and keep the drunks out of your house. Good night.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
So I should sign off all podcasts now.
Keep the drunks out of your house.
Yes.
Feel like that the AVE guy on YouTube?
Yeah.
Because we're done streaming. Well, we're still streaming, but we're done with the podcast part. You know, the AVE guy, if you haven't heard, is like, who he signs. What does he sign off with? Josh?
I don't know.
Keep your dick in a vice.
Wow.
He's a character.
Oh man.
Yeah.
He has an amazing character. He has the funniest, just like, I don't know. It's like he has a different dialect of English. And it's just the funny dialect. But yeah. Like things don't work. They chooch. You know, like this thing over there is chooching along. Like this laptop over here is chooching. And it's like, yeah.
I can't quite get into him. I've watched a couple of his videos and I
His
appreciate
videos?
it.
His videos. You have to say it right. You got to use his words.
I appreciate it, but it's just a little too much for me a lot of times.
What's amazing is every once in a while he'll bust out like some multiple $1,000 piece of just heavy equipment that he just happens to have in his garage to demonstrate something, right? So like, you know, that Miami bridge collapse thing that happened recently, the bridge that just like fell on the road.
Yeah.
It's because they were like changing the tension of one of the like rods that are, you know, tensioning rods that are within the concrete and everything. And he just happened to have a hydraulic tensioner. Just like a freaking big old hydraulic tensioner that you would use for building a bridge. And you just, you know, hey, here you go. I got one of these. I'll just hook it up to some hydraulic, you know, to my air compressor here, and you know, we'll just snap some rods here. Ah.
Yeah, I'm really, really tired, as you can tell from my flat eye effect. So I'm probably gonna head out. I got nothing else funny to say. I just threw it all in that story, and
It was pretty good.
yeah.
Got it off your chest.
Yes. Got
Yeah.
off something.
Which one is the practical engineering?
I like Electro Boom. He's hilarious.
Electro
Boom's
Boom
great.
is good stuff. Practical engineering. I'm pretty sure I've watched some of these videos. Actually, no, I don't think I have. Oh, I did. I watched the. Actually, it's one of his playlists right there. It's the civil engineering playlist where he made a sandcastle hold up a car because he was showing the fiber reinforced layers in just dirt. Keeps every so. I actually didn't understand how like whenever you see the road get built up and they just put this cheesy like fascia, like really thin concrete wall on it, and you're like, how is that possibly holding back that mound of dirt?
Yeah.
Like that's got cars and trucks going over it. It's just because they layer, like, you know, they'll put some dirt in and then they'll put a layer like this, you know, just fiberglass mat or just something that's a reinforced mesh, and throw some more dirt on, throw another thing of mesh, and then the dirt doesn't have a chance to level back out into a pyramid like it usually would.
Yeah.
Because it's got the, you know.
Have you also seen the other engineering thing that they've done kind of like that, in that they do a layer, and then for like roadways, they put those hexagonal layers with, you know, a big strap that goes into there. And so it's a self-supporting multi-layer dirt
the wall
thing
the wall holds itself up by the very ground that they
that
they
it's
built
holding
up.
back.
It's pretty cool.
Nifty stuff.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those practical engineering videos. I wasn't subscribed to his channel, ironically enough, but I just took care of that.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Go to youtube.com/PCPer. Like, comment, subscribe. All the things.
All the things.
I don't think we pushed
All right.
YouTube enough. We should probably push the YouTube some more.
Yeah, first we'd have to put stuff there.
Pushing tubes.
Yeah, we need to put stuff on the.
We've got so much time to do video.
Yes.
There's that. Yeah, we just need a guy. We need to do the thing Ryan was talking about. We need a guy in the office that just like, whenever we have a good conversation about something, he just needs to record it, and then he needs to abide by whatever the NDA of the thing
Thought
is.
you had both Cortana and Alexa in the office.
Well, we do.
Well, then it's recorded somewhere.
Well, you know, yeah.
Guys at the NSA, guys, you got to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, this podcast is great. They're recording it right now. They publish it yet? Nope.
Every podcast is live to the NSA.
Yeah.
There's not enough people to do that. I know, because I used to be one of those people.
Computers.
How do they work?
Computers do it.
Yeah. Like in the movies, they're just looking for the word bomb and.
Ah,
whatever.
shit. Now we're on the
Now
list.
we're on the watch list.
Right.
Damn it, Alan.
Well, it's one way to expand your viewership.
Yeah. Good morning to the FBI.
All right. I got a review to finish before.
We'll see you
Yeah,
guys.
we got stuff.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Night,
Good
everybody. See ya.